Certainly worked in dress rehearsal. Oh, what did you hit? Perfect. Okay. So I do like to say, because this is always at the last Wednesday of the month, that this is actually dated information. If you go to the Realtors Association of Edmonton, they put out their amazing monthly stats for Edmonton on about the second or third day of the following month. So you can expect this information to be out probably around the 2nd or 3rd of October. But in the grand scheme of things, this is actually pretty current information. And as realtors, we also can get a pretty good sense in regards to what's happening in the current month that we're in. So this is what you're going to find on the website. Does it work? Awesome. It does work. In regards to some primary notes, I'll just read them off quickly. Total sales decreased 8.3% compared to July and 12% from August 2021. Single-family home sales were down nearly 11% from July and 17% from August 2021. Single-family homes averaged $470,000, up 1.8% from last year and down 4% from July. Single-family homes averaged 34 days on market. Overall listings averaged 42 days. Not too difficult to get a sense, even if you hadn't looked at this, to know that the market is down. But is it ultimately down? Well, let's take a look at what Paul Gravel said. He's the chair of the Realtors Association of Edmonton. While we continue to see the Edmonton real estate market cooling down after a record-breaking period earlier this year, everybody probably remembers January to about end of March, there's still a fair amount of activity happening in the resale market. We've seen average prices decrease month over month across the board. Single-family home prices are still above average from this time last year. So what does that mean? So this is the HPI, or the Home Price Index. If you've never seen this before, reach out to a Mogul agent. This is excellent information to get access to. This is basically benchmark prices. We can look at townhomes, we can look at apartment style condos, we can look at everything together. This happens to be single family homes. And this is basically year over year for single family homes for all of Edmonton. As you can see at the beginning of the graph, that's August 2021. The big giant swoop up, that's basically January until around the end of April, early May. And then as you can see, things are starting to come down July and August. Where things go, well, ultimately, if we go back to history, which we'll see if it happens again this year, because we're in definitely uncertain times, things should probably level off a little bit in a downward trajectory. We certainly felt that things did pick up again as soon as we got over the Labor Day weekend. There was a lot more viewings happening, and certainly some buyers are coming out. So we will ultimately see what happens. Not hard to see if you are online, or still if you read the Edmonton Journal or anything like that. Lots of articles that basically talk about how things are not what they used to be, especially earlier this year. These are a couple of articles that were taken from the Edmonton Journal over the last couple of weeks. Going back to the Home Price Index, the 2-year benchmark price growth for homes, Edmonton actually has gone up 14%, but certainly didn't hit the highs of the areas that we know were doing very well, like Ontario. You can see Toronto 28%, Hamilton 26%, and I have a friend in London who he's never known a buyer's market in the 7 years that he's been a realtor. He actually phones me to ask me what it's like. Anyways, London went up 44%. Over the last 2 years, Vancouver hit 24%. A couple of stats. Inflation did go down from 7.6% to 7%. Alberta dropped 6% or to 6% from 7.4%. That's mainly due to gas prices. And I've got an asterisk there because has anybody listened to the news today to see what's happened to gas prices? Gas prices are going way up. There's refinery shutdowns in the United States. There's supply chain problems because of the hurricanes. And then if you haven't heard, they're reintroducing the gas tax on Sunday back in Alberta. So you're going to see even higher gas prices over the course of the next little while. So what does that probably mean to inflation? Tough to say. But if gas has been the main indicator as to why inflation has been going down and gas prices are going up, we might be seeing inflation staying around the 7+% for a while. There are some good things happening in Alberta. You just have to look for them. For anybody that's not aware, if you live in Edmonton, you actually have the ability to have a crystal ball, and that crystal ball is Calgary. Whatever happens in Calgary usually happens in Edmonton a year to 18 months later. This is some big news that's happening just outside of Calgary. There's 1,500 jobs with de Havilland Aircraft opening up a manufacturing plant, 1,500 jobs coming to just outside of Calgary. Another 1,000 people going to be working downtown Calgary as Infosys opens up a downtown office in 2024. Some other interesting information, oil and gas for the first time since 2019 is dominating the TXS. Right now, there's 15 Alberta companies out of the top 30 on the TXS that are Alberta based. That's 63% market cap, and they haven't seen that in 3 years. So there's some good news happening there. And not to leave out Edmonton, McEwen has announced a new building that they're going to be building for business in the next few years. Their goal is 30,000 students by 2030, and they're already hitting their capacity right now, which is why they're looking to expand. And just this morning was reading that there's 23 companies that are hiring right now in Edmonton. That includes Oilers Entertainment Group, Canadian Tire, ATB, Amazon, Strathcona County, and Epcor. And a long time ago, someone told me that if they're ever going to write a book that had one word on where to go to invest in property, that one word advice would be jobs. If there's jobs, these people are coming, they need places to live, and they need a place to rent. And so these are some good news stories about what's happening in Alberta right now, quietly, while everybody else is wondering what's going on with the uncertainty of what's happening. And that's why you're in this room tonight, to see what else is going on. That's some good news. Some other interesting information, and I bring this up because interest rates are moving up so fast, we now are starting to see rents go up. The challenge right now is that obviously we can't move rents up as fast as interest rates, but they are going. And so already, I can't believe it's happened this quickly, but there's already some lobby groups talking about rent controls in Alberta. There's some lobby company that's trying to open up a branch in Calgary and make it an election issue. That's why it's important to know about things like this, that only 3 major cities in Canada have cheaper rent than Edmonton. And those are Saskatoon, Regina, and St. John's. Some of the most expensive rent in Canada is in provinces where there's rent controls, like Ontario and British Columbia. The cost of rent at Edmonton, nearly $1,500 cheaper than it is in Vancouver right now. So what does all this mean? First of all, we're going to talk about for buyers, and we're going to talk about sellers in a second, because in times like this, everybody always talks about the benefits for buyers, but there are some potential sellers in this room as well. So you want to stay focused on what this means to you. Don't get caught up in the media hype. Focus on what's important to you and set up a game plan that is most likely unique to what is important to you. If there's 40 people in the room right now, there should be 40 different plans. Get your ducks in a row, solidify your systems and your power team. We have an amazing power team. Please grab those sheets and take them home. Reach out, make connections with every single one of those people. They're going to be invaluable to you as you go on your investing journey. And opportunities will be coming. There will be more selection. There's motivated sellers out there. There will be great opportunities for you. Now, what does this mean for sellers? Ultimately, it is what it is. If you didn't sell in January, February, March, it's completely irrelevant. It's about what's happening today. You need to accept the fact that we're in the current market and prices are what they are. Decide if selling is now what's most important to you. If the biggest pain is moving that property right now, then you need to consider selling. If you can wait and have an opportunity to wait for potentially better days, we are already talking about a pent-up demand as all these buyers are sitting on the sidelines wondering what to do. They usually start to come out of the woodwork January, February, March. So we are certainly anticipating brighter days in 2023. Comparables don't mean too much from now. If you're talking to a real estate agent and he's throwing comparables at you from April and May and June, those numbers are completely irrelevant. It's about what's happening now. If you're trying to sell a property, your competitor is who's on the market in your community right now, and that's what you should be focused on. You need to be the best deal in the area. Some final thoughts. Continue to get educated. All of you in this room are going to be better off than those sitting on the Earl's patio tonight. So thank you very much for coming. Focus on you and not on the media chaos. I used to be in media a long time ago. We always would talk about if it bleeds, it leads. We're looking for the sensational story. You need to move past that. You need to focus on what's important to you. And remember that opportunities come out of times like this. So there are some amazing opportunities. You just got to keep an eye out for them. That's the Edmonton